Hey there, welcome to the channel. So, hey, today just a little update on the stock. So we see that we kind of had, a decent update on the market today. So if we look at the SPY, we can see we're up 1.8%. And this is kind of like I was, talking about, I think in my last video, like, I don't know, like there's just so much consolidation in there that wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of a move up. So it seems like maybe we're getting that. So if we look at that, that was the SPY. If we look at Dow Jones, we got a little bit there. Note the volume isn't too great. I mean, it's above the average volume, but it's still not. It's not like a super heavy volume day. NASDAQ, let's see what that's doing. Kind of same thing. It's up 3.4% today. So yeah, so that's better. I think so it's kind of interesting if we look at this. If you look at this, we could see that we're getting this, and we're coming into now the area that maybe would be resistance, right? So somewhere in here is where you would expect there to be some resistance, basically as these previous lows, as we found support on the way up, that these would now be resistance on the way back. So we've actually broken through a little bit of that resistance today. So we'll kind of see what happens. I mean, it just, like, I think, as I was saying before, it's just so oversold. It's just so much that expecting like a little bit of a rally really kind of could be expected. Now, what's interesting here, if you look at the IWM, went up 3% today, but you see, the thing is, like, it didn't even break out of this little range. Like, it didn't even get out to the range. So compare that to the other ones, which had gone, there was basically this big consolidation range here, and they had actually peaked up. So if you look at the SPY, et cetera, they peaked up out of that range. This one hasn't. So that's kind of looking more negative for the Russell right now. Let's go look at some of these, like RK, the speculative names. So here, it's all relative. So here you had a 10% move on this thing, which, okay, that's fine. That's all good. But this really, as far as I can tell, looks like a dead cat bounce. Because I mean, it's just like all these other times you have a little bit of a rally. I mean, this is a pretty good one, but it's because you also had this big downward move that you've just gone through. Now here, kind of would be somewhere in here. Maybe I'd be looking for resistance on this. I mean, maybe there's some here, but yeah, we'll kind of see. So looking at it, you could really just have come up into here and then start moving back down. Now, so the question is, what is it going to do? I don't know, but my guess is that this is not the bottom. Okay, because you're talking about little up bars. Like, so if you look at like the speculative names here, I mean, this is not the bottom. I mean, if it was going to be the bottom, it would take a long time. Now, it could be a month from now, after we put in a huge base down here, it could be the bottom. But as of this point, it's certainly not. If you look at SPY, this is where where basically we're looking at it where, I don't know if this could just be nothing really. Basically, this whole thing, maybe if it just comes down and continues to start working its channel back up, if that's the case, then that's the case. So could be wrong on that. Now, another one, I'll just look at one of these speculative names, SFT. I had done I did some fundamentals on it, and so today it had a pretty big move today, 15%. But the thing to keep in mind with this is that, like, and someone was asking about this, and do you expect a rally? And it's like, yeah, I mean, just because it's so oversold, it's very easy to see a rally. And then I had checked the short interest was like 16 million shares, something like that. And depending on the volume, the volume has gone up. Like in this period of time here, the volume is much higher than it was the previous period of time. So what was going on with that is that, this amount of shares is now in like a 6 days to cover, something like that range, but it used to be actually more around 10 at the regular volume. So if this volume dries up a little bit, you're talking about a decent amount of short covering potential, right? Because if you had 60 million shares out, so you could have that. But once again, is that that's a kind of like a trade situation. Like, okay, yeah, you can trade it. Maybe you get so you to get a little bit of a rally here for sure, could be. And if you look here, would be your resistance on the way up in these areas. So you could say, okay, maybe get some resistance there. Maybe we could go higher. Maybe we could really get going. But at some point, I assume that, it'll hit a resistance that will just knock the crap out of it. That would be my guess. So we have our little kind of relief rally, our little dead cat bounce going on right now. I wouldn't plan for it being much more than that at this point. If we go look at the weeklies here and kind of look at energy. So energy, it didn't do much today. XLP didn't do much. XLK, what did XLK do? 2.5%. So see, some of these guys, like, yeah, some of the other ones, kind of tech, but see, the reason tech is having its thing because it's been so beat up. So, when you're going to have that bounce, it's going to have that extra beta to it. So it's going to go up. There's our oil today. What is our dollar doing? Dollars hanging out. UNG. Oh yeah, this UNG was kind of weird. The other one is interest rates, 10-year yield. So yeah, really no movement on the interest rates. So really that's it right now on this. I mean, if I look at this and I have a little bit of, SPY on. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to hang on to it too long because I just don't see it as, anything being resolved. I think what you have this week is, you have a situation where, look, there isn't as much news coming out. There will be some inflation data coming out later this week. So we can kind of check on that. But, I just don't see there's not too much. I mean, it's better than it was. I mean, the big thing, right? What is the big thing? What matters more than anything else? It's what the Fed's going to do. So, the Fed, there's not much going on with the Fed this week. So that should be good. All right. Later. Bye.